Hi everyone, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my first recommendations video. I saw so many people, because of the coronavirus, posting a bunch of recommendation videos, and I decided to go on a more chill route. I wanted to recommend some relaxing reads. Probably by the time this is up, things will have calmed down a bit, so you won't need them anyway, but I still wanted to do them, kind of just to share what I like to read when I want something to kind of calm me down. So this recommendation video will come in 3 parts. The first recommendations I'm going to be giving you all are humorous, relaxing reads. So the main focus of these books, at least for me, is how much they made me laugh. It's not so much like the plot and stuff like that. In all these books, there's more dramatic stuff going on. Some of them are more action-packed, or there's more serious moments, but there's a lot of humor jam-packed into them, and that's why I find them relaxing. The first book I'll be recommending is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is an adult romance novel centering on one of the sons of the first female president of the United States and a prince of England. So this is kind of like idyllic situation. This is kind of looking back on the election where Trump won and kind of imagining what would have happened if a female had won that election. So it's kind of very relaxing in that sense, because it's all about like the perfect scenario, right? I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but whatever. The point is that the romance is really cute. It's not really hate to love like some people say it is, but it's still really cute and I really enjoyed it. And I found that the humor in this is very much like millennial humor done really right. And so it was a fun time. It was a really fun time and I found it really relaxing and fun to read. It kind of gives me like fan fiction vibes. Like that's the ultimate level of comfort for me. Like if something reads like fanfic, I'm having a good time and I'm happy about it. The next book is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This book is a YA historical fiction slash fantasy slash a hint of romance in their novel about this boy named Monty who is going on his grand tour of Europe. This is kind of his last hurrah. He's the eldest son of an earl and he's kind of the family disappointment. And part of that is because he's bisexual and that doesn't fucking roll with his family, of course. So they're kind of like, well, we'll send him on this tour so he can say goodbye to all the gambling and drinking and men that he loves messing around with, and then he'll get his act together. But of course, that's not exactly what happens. So on this tour, he ends up falling even more deeply in love with his best friend Percy, and shenanigans happen as he and his sister and Percy go on this journey together. Here, the humor is my favorite part. I would actually highly recommend picking this up as an audiobook. The audiobook narrator is amazing, incredible. He really brings Monty's voice to life, and that I'm so grateful for it, honestly. Most of the time, I've reread this book at least 3 times or 4 times, and most of those times it's picking up the audiobook because it's just fantastic and it really will put you in a good mood, I think. And here as well we have more serious topics because we have hints of like misogyny. We have Monty's dad who's an abusive father and stuff like that, so there is more serious stuff keeping this book together. But again, I find it very soothing and relaxing because Monty's way of like protecting himself is to be funny, so it just reads like a good time, okay? And I would recommend it. The last book I'm going to be recommending in this section is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Carry On is about this boy named Simon Snow who is the chosen one. He's supposed to save the world of mages. And essentially this book plays on classic fantasy tropes and classic chosen one tropes, and it's kind of a study of what really happens to these characters once they've saved the world, what really goes on emotionally on them. Like, how are they traumatized? How are they fucked up by everything they've had to do as little children to save the world that they're in? There's plenty more things going on in this book. That's just a more general way of describing it. And if you haven't heard of it before, you probably haven't been on BookTube that long. But anyway, it's kind of very heavily inspired by Harry Potter. Some people call it Harry Potter fan fiction. I disagree with that statement. I think it has plenty of stuff going on for itself that makes it unique and different. And again, this is a book that isn't taking itself too seriously. Like, literally, the magic system here involves like popular songs on the radio. Like, spells can be song lyrics, lullabies, the most ridiculous shit you've ever heard in your life. So like, it's not trying to be serious. So that's part of what I really enjoy about it and what I find so relaxing about it. But again, this is another one that has serious stuff going on as well, because Simon Snow is depressed, okay? Even in this one, he's like a hot mess. So just be ready for that. The second section of recommendations in this video is what I call my wholesome energy relaxing reads. Mostly what this means is that these books are very sweet and soft and just very cutesy and all about the fluff, and basically there's almost no darkness in these reads. And a lot of them are actually graphic novels slash comics, which is a weird thing for me, but it happens. So my first recommendation is Check Please by Ngozi Ukazu. I'm not sure if this is a young adult or a new adult graphic novel or comic, whatever. But the point is that this is all about hockey player Biddy. I don't remember his name. It's been a while since I read this. But basically, the main character, he plays hockey. He likes baking, he has a YouTube channel, and he's really cute and sweet, and it's all about him playing for his college team and getting his act together and kind of bonding with the other boys in the team. And it's just a fun and wholesome time. Like, with this one, this is a recommendation I think I liked the least because I wasn't that impressed by it, but it was more because I didn't really like the storytelling style. It just felt very abrupt and like we were missing the most intimate moments between the characters, if that makes sense. But in general, I still find it very relaxing and very fun to read, and I would recommend picking it up, obviously. The next book I'm recommending is actually an audiobook I'm still in the middle of listening to because I'm very slow at listening to audiobooks sometimes, and that is Pip Bartlett's Guide to Magical Creatures by Maggie Stiefvater and some other author I don't care about. This one is a middle grade novel about this little girl named Pip Bartlett who really loves magical creatures. And she's a huge fan of this book that she has that's a guide for magical creatures, but she revises it as she starts encountering more magical creatures and learning about them. What makes Pip unique is that she can actually communicate with these magical creatures. She can talk to them and they can talk to her. But obviously it's a kid's novel, so no one believes that she can actually talk to these creatures, and it's kind of about the shit she gets into when she starts encountering more magical creatures. And it's very fun, it's very light, it's very humorous. Since it's for kids, it's literally all fluff. It's just a good time, honestly. There's nothing else to it. Just pick up the audiobook. It's like 3 hours long or 4 hours long. You can get through it pretty quickly and have a nice little bout of positive energy. The next book I'm recommending is also another middle grade, and it's The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. This graphic novel is pretty short, as you can see. Again, it's for children, so you can get through this really quickly. And it's about this girl that learns about and starts to understand what tea dragons are. And tea dragons are essentially little dragons that grow leaves on their heads, or little plants and flowers, and you trim those and you can make tea out of them. And so it's just literally basically that. It's just this girl, she meets this other girl, and they're just getting to know each other and becoming friends and stuff like that. And it's very gay and it's very cute and wholesome, and that's it. That's all you need to know. The last book in this section is Reindeer Boy by Cassandra Jean. This one, as you can see, we're a bit out of season for that, but I don't really believe in reading books at certain seasons. I just pick up whatever the hell I want to read at the moment, and if that is a Christmas book, then so be it. But basically, this is, I'll just read you the summary because I don't remember. I haven't read this in a while. I just remember it being really cute. Quincy has had the same dream every year on Christmas Eve of finding a little boy under the tree holding a special gift for her. And every Christmas morning, she's awoken to find a gift wrapped in tinfoil with her name on it. When school resumes after the winter break, Quincy's class discovers they have an unusual transfer student named Cupid. Ridiculously cute and friendly, the new boy has everyone enamored and confused. Those antlers can't be real, can they? And could it be that Cupid has his sights on Quincy? And it's just cute. It's a good time. That's all I'm gonna tell you, because there's nothing else to say. Okay, for the third and final section of this video, I call these my slow and steady wins the race relaxing reads, because basically all of these are very slow-paced, character-driven books. There's not a lot of plot going on. It's kind of just, you know, you sit down and you take your time reading these. It's not about hurrying through to the end. It's about just like sipping a cup of tea. Like you just sit down, relax, take a few sips every now and then, and that's it. You're not rushing, right? You're not trying to savagely chug your tea down, right? So it's those kinds of books. The first book I'm going to be recommending in this category is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This book is a YA fantasy romance novel about a girl named Isabel who is commissioned to paint the portrait of an autumn fae prince. But what happens is that she paints human sorrow into his eyes, and this is a big no-no because faes pride themselves on being emotionless and not feeling anything or showing anything. And so when he reveals this portrait to his court, he basically looks like a fucking fool. And so he's angry and he comes back to get Isabel and be like, bitch, you're gonna pay for doing this shit to me. But ultimately, this is more of a journey novel. It's a lot of Isabel and the prince moving from court to court in the Feylands and falling in love. Like, that's the main point. And it's kind of awkwardly stilted. It's not quite cohesive, but as a debut novel, I thought it was good enough. I was like, it was a chill ride. I had a good time. I was okay just reading about these two idiots falling in love, and that's it. Like, if you just want to be in a fae world just mainly following two characters, then try this out. The next book I'm going to be recommending is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I really love this because Becky Chambers has a beautiful writing style and she has a great way of developing worlds in a very subtle yet intricate way. And so I really liked everything here. The characters, the world building, the interactions, and stuff like that. The last book I'm going to be recommending is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. So basically in this one, you're following Zachary. Once when he was a kid, he saw this door painted on the wall of his house, I think it was, and he thought about opening it, but he was like, it's painted, it's fake, it's not gonna do anything. So he doesn't touch the door. But when he gets older, basically he finds this book, he sees that memory he had of that door written in this book, and so he starts to think, was that door real? Could it be real? And if it is, where does it take us? So basically, Zachary has the opportunity to figure that shit out. And again, Erin Morgenstern is another one that you're here for the aesthetic, you're here for the atmosphere, for the characters, for taking your time just with the language of the story. Because this story is written very lushly. What you could say in 5 words, it tells you in 20, okay? And that's not for everyone. But I love this book. I'm actually dying to reread it, and I hadn't talked about it before on this channel, so here it is. If y'all like slow shit that's atmospheric, read this. Anyway, I hope these recommendations are useful. Maybe you found something you hadn't heard of before that you might want to check out. I know a lot of these are very popular, so I don't know how helpful it is, but maybe just the vibes is what you needed to make sure of. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to follow me on any of my social media, I will leave all of that linked down below. But for now, see you next time.